Next from Chicago, State Treasurer Mike Frerichs holds a press conference to call on Governor Rauner to sign the Unclaimed Policy Bill, which would create new regulations to ensure that life insurance companies pay money owed to beneficiaries from deceased policyholders. This runs about 10 minutes.
I want to thank you all for joining us here today. My name is Mike Frerichs. I'm the elected Illinois State Treasurer. We stand here today, myself, Representative, Senator, and President, to shed light on an issue that many of you may not be aware of. I know this was news to me when I entered office, that some life insurance companies intentionally avoid paying death benefits to increase their profit margins. Now, when I found out about this is happening, I want to do everything in my power to fix this problem and to make sure that everyone in Illinois receives the benefits to which they are entitled. When people purchase a life insurance policy, they assume their loved one will be paid in a timely manner, not 40 or 50 years after the fact. House Bill 4633, or the Unclaimed Life Insurance Benefits Act, requires insurers to use the death master file to confirm if a policyholder has died and the death benefits have not been paid. With bipartisan support, House Bill 4633 passed the House and the Senate in May of this year. And now it sits on Governor Rauner's desk, and today I'm calling on him, along with the people behind me, to sign this important legislation into law. Protecting the rights of consumers is part of my job, but it's also just the right thing to do. The State Treasurer is tasked with safeguarding unclaimed property, such as unpaid life insurance benefits or forgotten bank accounts, and returning these properties to the rightful owner or heir. In Illinois, more than $550 million has already been paid directly to beneficiaries or turned over to the Treasurer's office as unclaimed property by matching policyholders' names against the death master file. We did that because of voluntary agreements between the Treasurer's office and insurance companies that represent over 70% of the national market. In contrast, last fall of 2015, 3 Kemper life insurance companies sued the Treasurer's office to block an audit that would identify life insurance proceeds from policies belonging to people who have died, but where the benefits are unpaid and we believe have become unclaimed property. By not paying these benefits, some life insurance companies bake these unpaid benefits and millions of dollars of interest they make by choosing not to pay them into their profit margins. This is unacceptable. The vast majority of life insurance policies are sold by companies that are doing the right thing by their consumers. But I will do everything I can to make sure all life insurance companies are held accountable and are providing consumers with what they deserve. Now, I am very happy to have the support of Cook County President Toni Preckwinkle. She is a true champion and consumer advocate for Cook County. Since becoming Cook County Board President, she has put in place some key guiding principles to make a difference in our communities. Among these, fiscal responsibility, transparency, and accountability. To have her stand here today to help us raise awareness of this issue is really important to me. More than 3 million people in Cook County have unclaimed property worth more than $1 billion. So I'm going to ask to join me up here at the podium, Cook County President Toni Preckwinkle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Treasurer Frerichs. And I want to thank Representative Martwick and Senator Monroe for being here as well. I appreciate the opportunity to be here to talk about this important issue, and I want to congratulate all of the good people behind me, and especially the legislative sponsors of House Bill 4633 for their leadership on this issue, and lend my voice to those who are calling on Governor Rauner to sign this bill into law. Government should be about setting good policy and passing laws that best serve the interests of our citizens. This bill is good public policy that will correct bad private sector behavior. It's unconscionable that benefits duly owed to the descendants of the deceased should sit in the accounts of private insurance companies. And also that those insurance companies who engage in this practice are not required to do everything within their power to honor the wishes of their policyholders and find those to whom benefits are owed. The fix is simple. Use the federal death master file to confirm that a policyholder has died and if death benefits remain unpaid. The master file already exists, and it's simply a matter of the insurance companies taking the extra step. And I want to be clear, the vast majority of insurance companies are not sitting on benefits. The vast majority, 70%. But some do, and that's wrong. Those who are entitled to benefits should be paid those benefits. This is an easy call. I urge the governor to sign House Bill 4633. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. As a former member of the General Assembly, I know how important it is to make sure that you have good legislators working at your side. When I became treasurer, I gave up that role, and I'm reliant upon other members to carry legislation and ideas we want passed. When I reached out to Representative Martwick to see if he would be interested in sponsoring this legislation, he, quite frankly, I think, was surprised that we needed it, but he grasped it quickly and ran with it. And I want to thank him very much for the countless hours he put into this. Many people I talk to say, this bill just makes sense. Why haven't we done this before? Well, there was an awful lot of opposition from special interests to passing this bill. Representative Martwick didn't let that stand in his way because he too is a champion for consumers, and I'll invite him up to talk about his experience in making sure that we're able to stand here today.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And thank you, Treasurer Frerichs. He said it so well. When he approached me, I've had the pleasure of knowing Treasurer Frerichs since before he actually sought office for, I met him early on in his career as he was seeking office for the Illinois State Senate. And so when he approached me, now that he's treasurer, and asked me to run this bill, I thought, wow, this is going to be some complicated, challenging legislation. How are we going to message this to convince my fellow members in the General Assembly to join on to this? And when he told me the nature of the bill, I was shocked. I thought, really? I mean, this is going to be easy. And as he said, it's an easy message because anyone who hears this knows instantly, as President Preckwinkle said, as Treasurer Frerichs said, and I will repeat, this is a no-brainer. This is exactly what government was designed to do, to protect people from unscrupulous businesses that would take advantage of them. When people check a box on an employment application for optional life insurance, a small amount, they expect that that money will be given to the people that need it if they meet an untimely end. And to think that companies doing business in Illinois would hold themselves out as good partners and good neighbors and yet would intentionally deny those decedents that, or those beneficiaries that benefit, it's unconscionable. And that's the role of government. We should step in and we should do something. I was very honored to be asked to carry this legislation. I worked very hard. We got an overwhelming majority in the House of Representatives. It is absolutely the right thing to do, and I certainly urge the governor to sign this. I think that if he's listening or if he's been reading, I don't know how there's any way he would not sign it. So I look forward to that bill signing. Thank you.
Right. I'll just repeat that I think Representative Martwick was a little humble in his description of the bill, that it wasn't always such a no-brainer. But when you have good advocates who are willing to put in that time to explain to their colleagues and help to explain in a way their constituents will understand, it makes it a lot easier to get such large majorities. Now in Springfield, we can't just pass through one chamber, we have two chambers, and I want to bring up someone who was very helpful in our efforts to pass it through the Senate as well. And I think that Senator John Mulrow ran into a lot of that opposition, and he worked with us to alleviate some of that as well, so that we could be here today talking about not getting it through the House and the Senate, but just needing one more obstacle, the governor's signature, for this to be law. So, Senator John Mulrow.
Mike. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer, and good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I just want to say I guess there's no such thing as a no-brainer in Springfield right now. But I can tell you, I just want to actually thank the Treasurer, Representative Martwick, President Preckwinkle, and my colleagues in the Senate, specifically Senator Hayne. This is common sense legislation. It passed with bipartisan support in the Senate. It actually passed unanimously, 54-0. So the simple, basics of the bill is the insured, they pay a premium for the proceeds to go to the beneficiary upon their death. Upon an insured's death, it's the beneficiaries are the rightful owners of those proceeds. This wasn't getting done. The insurance companies contractually or legally thought they could hold back. This bill will force, or at least encourage, the insurance companies to find the rightful owners of the policy benefits and have them paid, which is the right thing to do. Thank you.
I don't think there's anyone who writes a check to a life insurance company because they love life insurance companies. They sign up for life insurance policies because there is someone in their life that they love, that they want to take care of when they're no longer here. We want to make sure that the last wishes of those deceased are honored and that their heirs are able to collect those benefits in a timely manner. We have found examples of where some families waited 40 or 50 years to be paid, and that is just clearly not right. So I want to thank everyone who has joined me today in this effort, and once again calling on Governor Rauner to sign this legislation and to do the right thing. I believe we'd all be willing to answer any questions.
Treasurer, is there a statute of limitations on how long, you said 20, 40, 50 years, how long before it just goes nowhere?
So if that money is unclaimed property, it belongs to people here in the state. We are the repository for unclaimed property. We will hold on to that money in perpetuity. That if the person does not claim it today or in 20 years, if their heirs, their children or grandchildren come to us in 40 or 50 years, we will pay that out. But we want to make sure that the life insurance companies are reaching out to those beneficiaries in a timely manner.